Good morning, good evening, and a good afternoon. This is Nathaniel Kempson Production today, and welcome to it's my bedroom. Yeah, why are we in the bedroom? Well, you may recall from a video I did quite a while ago now, a room tour, or rather an apartment tour I made a couple of months ago. I had my bed over here going that way, and then over here against the wall I had law barrow going that way. But as you can clearly see, it's not there anymore, and the bed's over here now. So what's going on? Well, you may have already guessed. Yep, law barrow is gone. Law barrow is dead, very dead. In fact, someone else has got law barrow now. I gave the baseboards away. I kept all the wood and all the timber. It's all under there, all ready to be used again for the next layout project. The new railway is going to be bigger and better than law barrow, because one of the main things that annoyed me about law barrow was how difficult it was to get to. Because one edge of the layout was right up against this wall here. So it came out about 4 feet, so about here somewhere, and then there was just the bed straight there. So for about, I'd say probably 70% of the whole 6 foot length of the layout, only the last 2 feet or so was actually accessible in any way, shape or form. And that's annoying, so I gave up on that idea very, very quickly. There wasn't enough storage on the layout. I ended up having a table, in fact this table here, underneath it. Do you like my Taylor Swift t-shirt, by the way? Official Taylor Swift store merchandise. Shut up, Nathan. I actually had this table underneath the layout as what I called a stock table, to actually put the spare locos and coaches on that literally didn't fit on the railway. So storage is the main thing that I want on this new layout, and that's what it's going to have. Hopefully, if I take the lens lock off, just over here, just behind Taylor Swift, you can see that black mark on the wall there. That marks 6 foot from that wall. 6 foot from that wall across to there. It's just about where the where this little table is, roughly. You can see the mark just there. No camera, just there. And then if we come across to here, you can see behind this metal pole there is another mark on the wall, and that marks roughly 9 feet from that wall all the way across to there. So the new layout will be 6 foot by 9 foot. Quite a size. It's actually 1 foot bigger than New Blackthorn, my 1980s era layout, which I built a little while ago. Well, that's all well and good, Nathan, but what sort of thing are you trying to build with the new layout, and what's it called? Well, for that we need to hop over onto the computer.
So, if we hop over onto the computer over here, oh look, it's that Taylor Swift again. How funny! If we then hop onto any rail, you can see this is the rough track plan. So the red lines mark roughly where baseboards and baseboard joints are going to be. You can, in fact, if I move that there and then shorten that one a little bit, 1, 2, 3, and then actually I need to put that one back. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, like that. That's actually the baseboard plan, kind of exactly there. So this layout, as you can see up here, is called Cowerbridge Junction, because you've got the bridge down here and the junction up here. Third radius on the inside loop and fourth radius on the outside. Now I could probably have gotten away with fourth radius on the inside loop and then a flex track, air quotes, fifth radius on the outside loop, but I figured that I'd rather have a little bit more space for scenery, because if I were to have nice gentle curves on the outside, as you can see, if you follow where my mouse is going, there wouldn't be much space for platforms or scenery. So that's why I went like this. And you can see on the far left over here, plenty of space, hopefully, for storage of fully made up trains with 2 loops of about, I think I calculated it, they're about 8 foot or 7 foot long-ish on each loop. And then these 2 middle tracks here, which you can see are joined by this little crossover here, are the through roads. So trains can leave the 2 outside loops here and over here, run round the layout through the 2 inside loops, and then go back into one of these storage roads. Now that might seem a little bit unconventional, but in my head that makes sense. That way you don't have to constantly be shuffling locos around. You can set trains up, have them running round as much as you want, and then shuffle the trains in the sidings to make space, which is actually what I do with my 1980s era layout, a new Blackthorn, as I alluded to earlier. So there's not much on this plan here in terms of scenery. You can see that I've got a very rough, bodged up, laid out town. The buildings, these aren't going to be the buildings that I intend to use. These are just some Metcalfe ones thrown on the plan just to kind of fill up the space a little bit, to indicate that this sort of 3 by 1 foot space here is roughly where the town is going to be, kind of. And then I've got platforms. Again, I'm not going to use these exact platforms and this exact footbridge and that exact shed and stuff like that. These are just indicative of where things are roughly going to go. So I'm probably going to scratch build my own platforms like I normally do, using Metcalfe card kits or the Pico platform edging kit things. The footbridge, I'm not sure about. I might give a go at bashing my own one, but I'm not entirely confident that I'd actually be able to do that. Now, the 2 things that I am going to use exactly is the station building and this signal box. I already have these. These come from previous layouts that I've built and dismantled over the last, I don't know, couple of years. And the shed, again, not this exact one. I'm going to be using the Metcalfe single track shed. I think this is the ratio one. If I look down here on the left, yeah, this is the ratio 522 engine shed, which is a plastic kit, and I'm using a Metcalfe card kit. So, got the church down here. Again, this is the Metcalfe footprint. Not going to be using the Metcalfe one. I'm going to be using the old Hornby one. You're old enough to remember the plastic kits that Hornby used to make. I'll go into more detail when the layout is actually in place. And again, for the bridge, I was going to use like a viaduct kit, but then decided that I'd rather just kind of scratch build my own like cast iron girder bridge type thing. Now, you may have noticed the grey outline following the track. That is roughly the shape of the embankment that the railway will be sat up on top of. Again, it's something that I haven't done before, so I thought I'd give it a go and kind of see how it looked. And it goes without saying that this layout is going to be digital because it's quite large, there's quite a lot of track work, and some of the point work would be a bit too complicated for just normal DC control. So I will very quickly step you through some of the operational interest this layout actually has. For example, I could have a multiple unit sat in platform 1 over here. It could then leave via this point here and come across onto the outside track here and then run round forever on the outside track. If I then decide that actually I want this to go back in the same platform, I can run it on the outside track and then come up on the what I've dubbed correcting junction to the inside loop, which is the through road on the inside mainline track here, and it can then reverse back on itself, back onto the scenic section, now going the correct way, and then come straight back across into the same platform it left from. And I can also do that with 2, possibly 3 coaches and a locomotive. I'm thinking that I can only do 2 coaches and a locomotive, and I will also have to curve these 2 tracks out a little bit, something like that, just to get a little bit of extra length on the 2 dead-end sidings there, for air quotes running locos round. I will probably just have to lift them off by hand and put them on the track there, or maybe I could improvise some kind of I don't know, like traverser type thing. Who knows, it could be quite fun. So that's roughly the size and track plan of the layout. This might change a little bit here and there. I might add extra length to these sidings, I might shorten them a little bit, I might move buildings around a bit, but that's roughly what it's going to look like. And I realise that this doesn't really have much in terms of scale actually in the room, so why don't I fix that and make things easier?
Okay, so back in the bedroom now, as you can see, I printed a 1:1 scale printout of the layout, and I've only laid down the storage yard because the rest of it is in this box, and it's like 9:30 at night and the wood and stuff is arriving tomorrow, so I kind of need space. So as you can see, we can walk up to it, and there is the back end of the town, and then the fan of points into the 6 total loops, the inside 2, these 2 here, or this one and this one, will be through roads, and there is the aforementioned correcting junction down there, and the end of the points there. There is another piece of paper that goes down there with the end of the points on, but I'm lazy and I can't be bothered to put it down. It's there. There it is. You see? Wonderful. So that gives you some rough indication of how big the layout actually is and how big the storage yard is. As I say, from that wall over there to the back of the door is about 9 foot, so taking up space for the curve points, that leaves about 7-ish foot for the storage loops on the outside there and on the inner side here. So it's quite a size. It's quite a size, and if I very glamorously lay down here, you can see just exactly how big it really is. It's not very comfortable down here, I can tell you that for free. Ow. So a nice big layout for a nice big space. Ooh, tour of my front room. Look, here's the desk, as I totally don't move dinner plates because they were in the way. So that there is one of the paper templates as I printed out. You can see that's the whole track plan. You can see I've scribbled on it and wrote on it and defaced it quite a lot. I don't know if you can read my handwriting. Probably not, because I can't either. So, I've just noticed I've actually got the price of what I've been paying for stuff. That's tough as tits, I guess. So, you'll notice there's blue dots on the corners of some of these baseboards. That is marking roughly where legs are going to be. Again, not exact. but I'm hoping I can get away with removing a few of them and just having angled supports like I did over here on New Blackthorn. And the entire scenic section of the layout, the baseboards will physically be 6 inches lower than on the storage yard side to account for the height of the embankment on this section that I want to do. So you can see here, from this scribbly mark here, this side will be 46 inches above the ground, and this side will be 14 inches from the ground, and the same up here. Except I will probably end the embankment on this baseboard joint here, rather than where I've drawn it here. It'll end here. So these boards will be 40 inches above the ground, and these will be 46 inches above the ground. So that goes without saying that the baseboard design that I'm going to be doing is going to be open top to a degree. I'll show you more later once construction starts in the morning, or over the weekend rather. So that the embankment, top of the embankment, is the same height as the storage yards are, rather than having all of the baseboards at 40 inches and then having little piddly 6-inch risers all the way everywhere. It would just be silly. So I'm doing it the open top baseboard, the open frame I believe it's called, which again I've never done before, so that's going to be a first for me. So thank you very much for watching this extremely janky, handheld, terribly lit video. I don't know when the next video will be out, hopefully not too long after this one. Like, subscribe for videos like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye for now.